What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we got some unfortunate news for three-division undefeated world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford, as four-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, has a record of 40 wins, 1 loss, 30 wins by way of knockout. He stands at 5'6", 33 years of age with a 68-inch arm reach. Last time we saw him in the ring was February of 2020 when he took on and defeated Jesse Vargas by unanimous decision. Mikey Garcia, we know, is seeking to become a 5-division world champion. He's trying to solidify himself and his place and his legacy amongst the legends, and the Mexican legends in the sport of boxing. With that said, Mikey Garcia does an interview in which he states that he's going to be announcing a fight with 8-division world champion, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pacquiao. This is a fight that is supposed to be the fight that's on the brink of happening for Terence Crawford, okay? You listen to legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum. He stated that Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao are on the brink of having a showdown outside of the country, possibly in Saudi Arabia, possibly in Dubai, in a mega fight that would see investors invest over $50 million, $40 million to Terence Crawford, $40 million to Manny Pacquiao, $10 million to Terence Crawford. But now Mikey Garcia, he's announcing that this is a fight that's been long in the works. They had a deal pretty much in place to fight before the pandemic hit. And all sports obviously is global pandemic, so all sports was suspended. He says now that now they will have an agreement in place. So he's essentially, Mikey Garcia is saying that they're just finalizing a deal to get a deal done in May. The day they said they're looking at in the next few days, they're going to finalize everything and have a deal in place, and if the showdown is going to take place in May. Obviously, we are in the first week of March, so that gives them plenty of time to prepare. Manny Pacquiao, he was stripped of his WBA title because of inactivity. He won it against former unified WBC, WBA world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman, who was stripped of his WBC title due to inactivity. Manny Pacquiao beat him for the WBA title. And Manny Pacquiao, then that was July of 2019. The WBA, they informed Manny Pacquiao that if he indeed didn't fight somebody in the top 10 of their ranking system, that they were going to strip him of the title. He was pursuing a showdown with a crossover sport with legendary, iconic superstar UFC combat athlete Conor McGregor. And that fell through as Conor McGregor was knocked out in his rematch with Dustin Poirier. So that fell by the wayside. And then he announced that there was reports that he could possibly face off against undefeated rising lightweight Mexican superstar title contender King Ryan Garcia. But that fell through. And I believe that fell through due to they saw the response that they got when that fight was even talked about. And it wasn't a positive response. Okay. So with that said, now this didn't make any sense. He should have announced the Mikey Garcia fight from the beginning, because Mikey Garcia is ranked number 4 in the WBA ranking system, okay? So that seemed to be the logical thing to do from the beginning to keep his WBA title, but the WBA stripped him on the belt. They elevated Yordenis Ugas to the full super champion, the WBA champion, so it's only one WBA welterweight world champion, and that's Yordenis Ugas. With that said, now Manny Pacquiao was being rumored to go into a showdown with Terence Crawford. But now it looks like he's not even going to go that route. He's going to go the route of Mikey Garcia, and he could have kept his belt, essentially. But let's just listen to what Mikey Garcia had to say.
All right, we've got a special up-close exclusive with Mikey Garcia here, who's, of course, going to be fighting Pacquiao. When are you fighting Pacquiao, Mikey?
Well, we're finalizing all the details, but we hope to get the date exact in the next few days, get an exact date. Location, everything.
We're looking at May, right?
Well, we're trying to get everything done for May. It's been in the works for a long time. It's been in the works.
So you hear what Manny Pacquiao had, Mikey Garcia had to say. He said, we're trying to get everything in the works for May. So this is unfortunate news for Terence Crawford. or maybe it's fortunate news for the boxing world, because now it seems like Terence Crawford is going to have to go in the direction of his WBO mandatory challenger and two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Sean Porter in his next fight. As legendary promoter Bob Arum, he stated that if they couldn't get a deal done with Manny Pacquiao, they had Sean Porter already in recess. They planned on, he met with Sean Porter's father, trainer, and manager, Kenny Porter, and they started to get the ball rolling in negotiations. So Sean Porter was the next option. So it looks like that's the route that Terence Crawford is going to have to take. He's going to have to face off against Sean Porter in his next fight. That's going to be an action-packed fight. If Sean Porter and Terence Crawford face off against one another, Sean Porter is going to test him every second of every minute of every round. He's going to push him to the brink. It's going to be an exciting fight. Terence Crawford is going to be looking to make a statement. He's knocked out or stopped all 5 of his last opponents. He stopped Julius Ndongo for undisputed. That was his last fight at junior welterweight. He stopped Jeff Horn. Then he stopped for the WBO title. Then he stopped Jose Benavidez. Then he stopped Amir Khan. Then he stopped Igor Kavalauskas. Then he stopped Kell Brook in his last fight, November 14th. So obviously, Terence Crawford is going to be looking to make a statement against Sean Porter. Sean Porter has been dropped a few times in his career, but never very truly visible hurt or in a compromised position where it looked like he was on the verge of being stopped. So with that said, Terence Crawford has an opportunity to make a statement against Sean Porter, okay? Now the fight everybody wants to see, obviously, is a massive showdown, which is the super fight between Terence Crawford and undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl the True Spence Jr. Now, a lot of people felt like because Errol Spence is asking for a 60-40 split, Terence Crawford feels like that's not being reasonable. He wants it to be 50-50, so there's no fight, okay? And with that said, a lot of people felt like if he could secure a fight with Manny Pacquiao, especially when Manny Pacquiao was still the WBA champion, then that would solidify him in his case of wanting a 50-50 split, okay? So with that said, now that has fell by the wayside. He lost his title, so it lost some of its luster, that being Pacquiao. And now Manny Pacquiao also is looking to go in the direction of Mikey Garcia. This made sense from the beginning. This was talked about for quite some time. And now Mikey Garcia is essentially saying it's all but done, and they're just looking, to finalize a few details, and they're going to get an announcement by the end of this week. And they're looking to have the fight take place in May. Well, Bob Arum, he said that he was looking to secure a fight for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford may be on the verge. He's a free agent in October. We know that Terence Crawford's lawyer was contacted, and the lawyer contacted Top Rank and Bob Arum and let them know that they weren't happy with the fact that they couldn't secure any big lucrative fights, legacy fights for Terence Crawford. And essentially, they were looking to the future to becoming a free agent. Terence Crawford later on backtracked and stated that he never had any plans to truly leave Top Rank. He just wants to make as much money as possible. And he knew that Bob Arum was trying to secure the biggest fights possible. He placed blame on everybody else not wanting to make the fights. Well, it seems like he's going to have to face off against Showtime Sean Porter in a huge fight. Okay, Bob Arum initially stated that he didn't want to pay Sean Porter more than $1 million guaranteed purse with back-end incentives. Sean Porter said not even $2 million is suffice in that situation. He needs big money because this is a big fight and the biggest fight for Terence Crawford in his career, and he's 100% correct, okay? So Bob Arum also stated that Terence Crawford will be waiting for a Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor winner. They're going to be fighting probably May 22nd for undisputed. Maybe they push their fight back because Mikey Garcia and Manny Pacquiao looking to fight in May. We know 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Canelo Alvarez will be going into unification bout against undefeated 2-division world champion Billy Joe Saunders, who holds the WBO. Canelo holds the WBC and WBA. That's a unification bout. That'll be taking place May 8th. They're not going to want to compete with that date. So it's more than likely you'll see Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia around that May 22nd date. So that may push Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, to a later date as well, because Manny Pacquiao is going to push them off that date, and Mikey Garcia is a big star too. Is it the most competitive fight? I believe it will be, because I believe their styles make fights, and I believe their competitive styles are going to clash, and it's going to make for a very exciting, entertaining fight. But there's not too much incentives on the line, okay? There's no belts on the line outside of the fact that Manny Pacquiao will probably push to regain his WBA title. So essentially, I can see this setting up an Errol Spence Manny Pacquiao fight in the future, because Errol Spence is more than likely going to fight Yordenis Ugas for that WBA title, and Manny Pacquiao is going to look to regain the WBA title, especially seeing as though he's been placed a champion in recess, and now he's going to fight Mikey Garcia. So I could see Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao fighting in a huge pay-per-view showdown with 3 belts on the line as well. So this leaves Terence Crawford with Shawn Porter, or he really doesn't have too many options. So we got to see how this unfolds. But stylistically wise, I believe this is Juan Manuel Marquez versus Manny Pacquiao Part 5. They already fought. Marquez, a legend, 4-division world champion, superstar boxer, Hall of Famer. He fought Manny Pacquiao 4 times. 1 first fight ended in a draw. 2 fights in the middle ended with Pacquiao getting a victory. 4th fight ended with Manny Pacquiao being brutally knocked out by Marquez, and that's the last time we saw Marquez in the ring grace the squared circle. So with that said, I believe this is a continuation, because I think that Mikey Garcia is a version of Juan Manuel Marquez. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.